So what would you do if you planted your garden real nice in your backyard and the goodness forbid there was some bad weather and those plants got knocked out or insects came in? How would you handle that? What would you do? Hi guys, I'm Jeff here at Whirlwind Family Farm, Central Texas. And that's a scenario I don't even like to talk about because I have lived through it before. I have lived through a hailstorm here before and not a good memory. Took out some of my drip lines, messed up some of my plants, had to replant. It was not fun, not good, and it was a tough lesson. But today I'm going to tell you about something that if it's a smaller backyard garden and you're raising food for your family, say it's enough food where it's actually cutting down on your grocery bill, you're getting good, nutrient-dense vegetables for your family, and you kind of depend on that. You want that soil to really be good, you want those plants to do well, and you've really put a lot of effort into it, and then you had, let's say, a group of vine borers. Look up vine borers, not fun. They came in and took out, you say you had 10 squash plants and they took out 7 of them. What would you do? And that's a perfect example, and that's what we're going to talk about today is micro succession. Now, if you go and plug in micro succession right now, it's going to give you a different definition. This is just a little thing I have coined that I say here is I keep something I just do is a little micro succession. And to first give you an idea of what succession planting is, and I'll give you the perfect example of it, is radishes. Radishes, they germinate quickly, they grow quickly, and they're one and done. They are a single root vegetable. Usually we plant them in group of 3s, but they're a single vegetable, and once they're pulled and once they're consumed, they're gone. So they are the perfect beneficiary of succession planting, and it's just like it sounds. You're keeping another batch or another group going, as we do, in seed trays. So the minute that those are mature and they're harvested, within 2 or 3 days, I have another group that's planted and I keep it going and keep the succession going. So I always use radishes because they are planted, they're germinated, they're harvested quicker than anything else I have, and they really represent that well. But it works for a lot of different vegetables. But what I'm talking about today is something that's a little bit different, and that is a micro succession. And let me tell you what I mean by that. I'm going to walk over here to my West High tunnel, which probably has a less chance of needing a micro succession, but it could happen. And it did actually happen to me 2 years ago, and I'll tell you what happened. But that's a group of cucumbers. That's about 30 of them that were planted a couple of days ago. They were started off in seed trays. That way you give them a nice, good start. Here in about a week, they're going to get tall enough where I'm going to start trellising these. In this West High tunnel, we have cables up there at the top. We get nylon string, we bring it down, attach at the base, and then they slowly start making their way up, and we make sure that that string is wound around those plants, or you can clip them in with trellising clips. Either way, that's how we do it. So let me tell you the scenario that happened 2 years ago. We got all these planted, just like these are right here, and unbeknownst to us, one night a gopher got in here, and for some reason, that was his fun, that was his joy, was going along, and I don't even think he was consuming them. He was going along and cutting right at the base, right at the roots, about 5 or 6 different cucumber plants right along this exact same row. So you better believe I'm prepared for any gophers this year. And what it left us with is about 5 or 6 short, and we just didn't have as many for our customers as we typically would need or would have. So the problem arose, we didn't have a quick replacement to be able to come in and plant, and that's where my thought of a micro succession came in. So let me show you what I do. Is right over here in the north part of Whirlwind Family Farm is where we do all of our seed trays in our propagation tunnel, which is this tunnel right here, 50 foot long. Half of it is planted usually in tomatoes, and the other half is where we start all of our seedlings. So I'll flip the camera around and show you. You can see these tables here are full, and they are growing many things as we speak. There's okra, there's radishes, there's cucumbers, and let me show you what I'm talking about. Here is that micro succession right here. That's about 25 cucumbers. As you can see, my wife has them marked out right there. These were planted 5 or 6 days ago. So here in about 2 or 3 weeks, these are going to be able to be ready to take over and be a replacement at any point. Now, we also do have extra room for them, so they're not going to go to waste. But in the event that we had one of those scenarios, we have a micro succession, something that's coming in as a replacement. Now, you would say in a commercial operation, Jeff, like you have, which this is not a big commercial operation, it's a small 1-acre market garden. We do have customers that we sell to. That's pretty smart that you need to keep something going all the time because you don't want to run out of product. That's exactly what we do. But let me tell you, that applies to a backyard garden just as much, because if your family is really dependent on having a little extra income, less spent on food, a backyard garden can be vitally important to your family in monetarily and also just with good nutrients. And I always say the beauty of a backyard garden is knowing that you're getting vegetables that are safe. They are free of chemicals because this is a no-till organic garden, and you're just getting the very best product that's right there supplied in your backyard. So having that little micro succession is a great way to go. And for a small garden, you can have 3 to 4 seed trays. You don't have to have a lot. Have it on the back porch, have it next to a big open bay window that's getting plenty of sunlight, and you're keeping extra plants growing just in case there's a hailstorm. And I'll give you another example. I'm going to flip around right here. That is a row of squash. They were transplanted, I should say, about 3 days ago. They're doing well. We've got another group that's going to go in here behind them very, very soon. But I'll tell you, we had that hailstorm that happened to us, gosh, that's almost 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago that happened. I don't even like to talk about it because it just was not a good memory. I had drip lines that were broken. Most of my my squash plants were taken out. Some of them did survive. And again, I did not have enough replacement plants inside that propagation tunnel to quickly replace. I had to go in, quickly start seeding, and by midsummer we did get caught back up again. But on that particular day, I'll never forget, it was right back in that southwest direction, and I heard this terrible sound. I was like, what is that sound coming? And it was hail, just coming in this very small cloud, headed this way. It was about marble size, and it hailed for about 15-20 minutes and did enough damage to take out a lot of plants. So I tell you those stories because I had to learn the hard way, not just succession planting, that we do out here anyway, but having micro succession. And that's where you have literally a few extra on hand in the event that you have to go back in and replace. And I'll mention this as well. One of the biggest problems we have out here, and I'll go back to these squash, is vine borers. Vine borers are extremely destructive. They look like a wasp, but they're really more in the moth family. They will come in and lay their larvae right here at the base, and you'll come out in the morning, you'll see this very healthy plant, and you'll come out that afternoon and it's completely wilted and dead because that larva, that pupa, whatever you want to say, has hatched, comes out and starts eating right at the base of those squash plants and kills them just like that. So I will tell you, we have learned we keep that micro succession, and last year we lost about 7 or 8 plants to those vine borers, but we quickly had replacements. So it's kind of a bummer to tell you this because I always like to present, but at the same time, I also want to tell you the thing that can benefit you whenever you face these situations. And I realize many of you are certainly not like me, where this is a source of income, but it is a source of food for your family, and just by being prepared and having a few extra. And I'll tell you, if you get through your season unscathed, no issues, no problems, no vine borers, no hailstorms, you've got 30 or 40 extra plants, and you may have friends, family, or neighbors around you that would appreciate having those. And if they've never tried a garden before, you say, you know what, I already have some seedlings. We can go out, I'll show you how you can clear a spot. We can loosen up that soil and we'll get those started for you. And you too can have a garden, so you can be a good neighbor and help out with allowing them to have a little bit of extra food. So guys, that's my thought for the day. It's just kind of like a little insurance policy to have those few extra, that micro succession, and it'll really see you. You'll be really happy. If that event ever happens, you'll be really happy that you had them. Guys, we always appreciate when you find our channel, and it means a lot to our channel when you like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. YouTube will always suggest another one of our videos right over here. Check that out. We know you're going to like it. Guys, blessings over you, your family, and your garden this year. We know you're going to do well. Talk to you soon from Whirlwind Family Farm.